It had been a noisy night. Katie discovered that a car driving by a window can make a lot of noise. Orbie found out that the blinds tip-tap-tapping in the breeze can keep you awake. And they both learned that when you sleep in a strange room, you don't always sleep well. It was an exciting day because Grandma and Grandpa were taking Katie and Orbie to the aquarium. Now, the aquarium was exciting enough, but Grandpa told them getting there was an adventure all by itself. Katie wondered where Grandpa's car was. Grandpa took hold of her hand, and he said they were going to get there another way. Soon they came to a bus stop. Katie and Orbie couldn't wait to get on the bus. Grandma said that the thing about buses was catching the right one. Each bus goes to a different place. Now, they needed to go into town, not into the country, so they had to catch a bus that was going that way. The bus would have the number 1 on it. Katie and Orbie both knew what the number 1 was, and so they helped Grandpa and Grandma look. It wasn't long before a bus rolled up to the stop. It had a number on it, but it wasn't 1. Katie told Grandpa it was the wrong bus, but right behind it, another bus screeched to a halt. Katie jumped up and told them that it was number 1. When the bus stopped right in front of them, Grandpa gave each friend a ticket. As they got up on the bus, Grandma showed them the place to put the ticket in. The ticket fell in and swirled around and down to the bottom of the container. Katie put hers in, and Orbie followed right behind. The bus driver gave them a small piece of paper back. As they hurried to find some seats, the bus began to move again. Orbie was worried because he didn't have his seatbelt on yet. Grandpa told him that the bus rules said that you didn't need a belt, but you did need to sit right in your seat and not walk around. The bus came to a stop when Orbie stood up to get off. Grandpa put his arm around him and pulled him back. This was not their stop. They had to stay on the bus for a little longer. But that was just fine with Orbie. He moved over beside Katie and looked at the neighborhoods going by. Soon they came to a stop where everybody got off. There was a big square-shaped boat waiting for them. It had all kinds of windows and sat up high in the water. Katie wondered if it was the aquarium. Grandma told her they still had a way to go before they got there. This was a sea bus. The two friends just looked at each other. They'd never heard of a sea bus. Grandpa told them that it would take them from one side of the bay to the other. Orbie wondered if they needed a ticket for the sea bus. Grandpa told them that the little piece of paper the bus driver gave them would let them get on the sea bus too. It was called a transfer. When they stepped onto the sea bus, Katie could feel the gentle waves of the ocean rocking it back and forth. Orbie wanted to sit right up at the front so he could see where they were going. Inside, it looked a lot like the other bus, but it was wider with bigger windows. Katie wanted to know if they should put on some life jackets. Grandpa showed her the rows of life jackets stored up above and down below her seat. He explained that the sea bus was different than the little boats at the cottage. If it ran into trouble, you could put your life jackets on right away. He was very impressed with Katie for remembering to think safety when she was away from her mom and dad. As the sea bus skimmed across the water, seagulls chased and flew along beside it. Katie loved the big waves, and Orbie loved watching the dock on the other side of the bay get closer and closer. In no time at all, they reached the other side of the bay. The bus docked with the help of some men and some ropes they were holding. There was a gentle bump, and then the doors opened, and it was time to get off. Orbie wondered if this was the aquarium. Grandpa said that their getting their adventure wasn't over yet. Now they would take the LRT. Katie wondered what it was, but she didn't have to wonder for long. After they climbed some stairs, there across the platform was something that looked like a train. She just couldn't believe that they were going on a train, too. As they got onto the train, they showed their papers again. The door slid closed, and Grandpa told them to hurry and find a place to sit. They sat down, and the train lurched forward. Some people had to stand. They held onto loops hanging from the ceiling. This was to keep them from falling over. Orbie wanted to try it, so Grandma agreed. Orbie jumped for the loop. He held on tight. He swung one way and then another as the train moved through the city. Grandpa told them that the LRT stood for Light Rapid Transit. It was a special train with one track instead of two. It traveled above the city and through tunnels. It could go very fast. Orbie decided that he'd had enough of hanging from the loop, and he jumped down. When he did, he shot backwards a few feet and landed in a stranger's arms. Grandpa got right up and helped the man. Orbie apologized. He didn't know that would happen. It was because the train was traveling so fast. The man just giggled. He never thought it would happen either. He told Orbie that no harm was done. Orbie and Grandpa went back to their seats. Orbie felt bad. But Grandpa told him it wasn't his fault, that he should have told Orbie to say when he was letting go. He chuckled. Orbie did look funny flying through the air. Soon Katie saw arrows pointing in the direction they were heading. She wanted to know if they were at the aquarium. Grandma told her that she was an excellent tour guide because they certainly were. When the train whirred to a stop, the doors slid open. When they looked up, there was a sign for the aquarium. Everybody cheered. One adventure had ended and the other was about to start. But the adventure at the aquarium is a story for another day. You may take the city bus or a subway or a car. But I imagine one day on your adventures you'll get a chance to try all the other modes of travel. When you do, I just happen to know that you're going to find them exciting. Just like Katie and Orbie. You wait and see.